This video will serve as a review for your final exam. And first I want to go ahead and apologize for the lighting and the different setting in here. Today my computer in my office isn't working right now, and so I'm using the one in here, so this is what you have. But the good news is you can hear me, and so that's pretty much all you need to know. Now, one of the things I can tell is who watches our videos and who doesn't through Blackboard. And so what I'm going to do is, instead of giving you the answers to everything or giving you the ideas of what everything is going to be, I'm going to give you the basic question and let you be able to figure out the answers from the videos that you've watched. And so what I'm going to do is for some of the newer questions, I'm going to give you a slight idea of what it's going to be about, but then make you do the rest of the research so you can understand what's going to be on the test. So here we go. We're going to go through it. One of the first things you need to remember is what the name Micah means. You also need to remember what it was, those three qualities that God wanted instead of their offerings. And the next thing about Micah that you need to remember is what other book was Micah of Moresheth mentioned in. Also, one last thing about Micah. The prophecy of Micah shows a connection between two births. And when you'll have to remember those two births of what those were that we discussed. Now, let's skip down to one that we mentioned before and we've referenced several times, is the shortest book in the Old Testament. Also, don't forget what Edom stands for, and that's E-D-O-M, what Edom stands for. Also, when you read through the book of Jonah, Jonah has actually been referred to a connection to somebody in Luke chapter 15. And if you remember back to our video, that's something that we referenced. Jonah has been referred to somebody in Luke chapter 15. Also, Jonah's book was likely composed after the fall of Nineveh. So don't forget that. Some other questions I want us to look at is what the name Jonah means. What does the name Jonah mean? One thing that we know about Jonah also is, keep in mind, the further he ran from God, the more he found himself in what? Trouble. So don't forget that the further he ran from God, the more he found himself in trouble. Also, remember what the name Hosea means. The name Hosea means. Also, remember what the main characters' names are, the main three key figures in the book of Hosea. And Hosea's marriage is depicting God's relationship with Israel. Also, remember what a prophet is. A prophet is a human blank sent by God to reveal his will. The next thing, Habakkuk's book is characterized as a dialogue between the prophet and God. Now, one of the things that you notice and remember about the prophet Habakkuk, that Habakkuk brings a lot of complaints before God, but God doesn't necessarily answer all of those concerns. The next thing, according to the book of Habakkuk, faith is the very center to every physical, spiritual, and moral dilemma. Also, remember about Zephaniah, that he was obviously from a very royal, prestigious family. Also, remember what Haggai's name means. That was something we talked about in the video, what Haggai's name means. And Haggai did his work during the reign of King Darius. Also, remember that Joel's prophetic work comes on the heels of a certain kind of plague. Remember what that plague is. The next thing is to remember what Joel's name means. And Joel was not only just a prophet, but he was also what? The name Amos means burden bearer. And remember the place that Amos was from. And remember when Amos was giving his prophetic work, what reign it was during, what king. Also from the video, you'll know what days Zephaniah prophesied during. What days did Zephaniah prophesy during of what king? Zechariah was both a blank and a blank. You'll remember this from our videos. And Haggai had encouraged the work, if you remember, of the temple, but Zechariah would be the one to see its blank. Malachi's name means blank. Malachi was a contemporary of two people, and I want you to try to remember and go back through the video and to look through again who those people were that Malachi was a contemporary of. Also, you'll notice the phrase "says the Lord of hosts" is mentioned several times in Malachi. How many times is it? And Malachi also has a connection, a close tie with a New Testament character. Remember that character. And also remember what a prophetic message usually begins with. That should help and give you everything that you need to know to study further and to rewatch the videos and to look at several of them to get some of the answers. And also keep in mind that most of the things that we just mentioned are also in your book as well. So you'll be able to get plenty of what you need to know for the test. Good luck, and I'll be praying that you do well.